You got back here.
I was going
Oh, it was literally that.
Okay.
He like a sponge. He soak up everything that he need to soak up, put it into his arsenal, and then he make the best out of everything that he learned from everybody.
Look, he's always been yeah, but this time I would say that he's putting more effort because he knows. This fight means for him everything. As they said, for them, it's a business. For us, it's death or life.
From former world champions here to guys that are coming up, you know, and developing, you know. There's undefeated guys, former world champions, current, you know, world contenders. You know, they stay here 24/7. They live here. They got 10 bedrooms, and you know, just eat, sleep, you know, drink boxing 24/7. You know.
And there's like rooms there, and everyone just stays in here, all different fighters, you know. So it's a fight gym, you know. It's not a boxing class gym, it's a fight gym.
I think when I get back, I'm gonna do one more like 6-round sparring. But I'm glad I got a good amount of rounds in, and I felt good. I didn't feel like I went too crazy into war and stuff like that.
Terence Crawford recently joined Tim Tszyu in the gym, sharing advice on how to break down Errol Spence Jr. and prepare for the biggest test ahead.
I eat chicken and turkey, but I don't eat beef or pork.
How come?
It's just bad for you. You know, the beef.
He's tucking the guy.
Yeah,
I've been similar this camp around. Yeah. Actually, I've cut out my meat actually a little bit, not much, but for 8 weeks. Yeah. And you just feel lighter and cleaner, and just like you don't feel. You wake up in the morning and you feel good. You know, like usually when you eat sometimes beef, you feel. It's been interesting.
That beef wears you down. You know, because it takes too long to process in your body. So you constantly, you know, trying to relax there.
When Tim turns to Crawford for advice, recalling his dominant win over Errol, Crawford lays out the perfect blueprint to prepare for the biggest challenge of his career.
I've watched that fight over and over again, actually, man. And I just saw how focused you were. It was so nice to see. I saw how, I don't know, you eliminated all distractions. How'd you get so much into that zone that you just eliminated everything?
Because it was the moment. You know, it was a big moment. I wasn't gonna let it get away.
And did you practice certain things in that camp?
Nah, we already knew what to expect. Just like in the Canelo fight, you know, we knew what to expect. Me personally, I'll never go in there like, oh, let's practice and let's do this, let's train for this. Because no fighter is gonna ever fight me the same way they fought their previous opponent. So I just go in there and practice on the things that I need to work on. You know, so when it comes fight time, I know what I got to do.
Looking at the situation, Robert Garcia is already sounding the alarm, questioning whether this challenge is too much for Spence, who may not even know how much he has left.
Car accidents, I don't know. I don't know what else. I don't know. I never heard anything. So a lot of times drugs get involved and shit like that. I'm not saying that's the case, but I know alcohol was. He even admitted it. Accidents. When he fought Crawford, you could tell that was not the Errol Spence we were used to seeing. And what was that? 4 years ago? 3 years ago? And he didn't look very good at all. He didn't look good at all. So 3 years later, he wants to come back to boxing. And he's not going to start off by a tune-up fight.
He does do tune-ups.
That's why. That's the question. That's when I get my answer. He doesn't give tune-ups. No. I think he doesn't know what he's got left.
Taking it even further, Lonnie B is not just raising concerns for Spence. He is predicting Tim will get the job done with a stoppage victory.
I think it's good for Spence. I mean, Tim Tszyu is a lot to bite off of a first fight back coming off his destruction of Terence Crawford. I just think that's, if I had to pick, I would lean more towards Tim Tszyu. It seems like I don't know how Spence, I just don't know, you know what I'm saying? And the way he looked. I don't want to see Spence fight again. That's just me. And it's emotional for me because I'm a fighter. And Spence, I would rather Spence just go out with that right there and just remember him from being great in his time and just fighting a guy that was better than him. Like, I don't want to see him lose to Tim Tszyu or even get stopped by Tim Tszyu.
He feels Spence lost his rhythm, struggled to adjust, and never recovered. After a long layoff, Lonnie expects Tim to capitalize on those weaknesses and believes there is a real chance fans could see Spence dropped before the fight is over.
I'm going off his last fight and him getting hit and not taking shots well, I can see it happening. Not as detrimental as Crawford did it, but I can see maybe something like that happening.
On the other hand, Brian Mendoza, who has been training alongside Spence, completely dismisses Lonnie's concerns. He says every time he tried catching Spence with clean shots in sparring, Spence handled them well. Mendoza also rejects the idea that this is just another comeback. From what he has seen in camp, Spence is showing real hunger and adding new techniques every day, proving he is still evolving as a fighter.
For those, that think that he's done, he's just showing up for a check, I've heard that a lot, a lot of people critiquing. He's not working like someone that's showing up for a check. The work ethic I got to see in the couple weeks I was there, and obviously just from literally being in the ring with him, sharing the ring, working with him, there was adjustments every day. He's not someone that's just showing up and just, clocking in and be like, all right, let's go through the motions and do the same thing. He was making adjustments. I was catching him with shots the first day we sparred. The second day we sparred, those shots were not landing. I had to figure something else out.
Errol Spence.
Exactly, yeah. People forget, they know he's a pressure fighter. He likes to work the body. He tries to break you down. Errol Spence is known just to try to break your will.
What Mendoza has seen in camp paints Spence as a fighter in outstanding shape, making smart adjustments and studying every opponent with complete focus. He describes Spence as someone whose relentless pressure is designed to break an opponent's will over time. Mendoza believes that same style and mindset will wear Tim down and eventually give Spence the upper hand when it matters most.
And he used to box people. It's just that he found out he can run people over and he got a little too happy with that, but it's worked out with him. And obviously, it's still dangerous. They're wearing small gloves. So, he's quick with certain things, and if he catches Spence, maybe he gets him out of there and he's able to. But I feel like the pressure that Spence is going to be able to put on, and because one thing is, I did check Spence's punch resistance. I can definitely say, I sent some missiles his way, and I honestly felt like he responded well anytime I did, land something. He wasn't like running away. He wasn't like buzzed, falling all like, he eats the shots well. It's.
After watching Spence's preparation up close, Brian believes Tim is stepping into the toughest challenge of his career. Unlike those questioning how much Spence has left, Brian says he has seen Spence sharpen his full arsenal in camp. He praises Spence's punch resistance and explains that sparring with him revealed new layers to his boxing style, showing a fighter who continues to improve.
I still saw a recovered Spence is what I think. I think his punch resistance is there, and the work ethic, and like I said, just the work that he's doing in the gym is not of someone that's clocking in, trying to show up for a check and trying to be like, oh, let's see what we can do. Like he's fully locked in. He cares about improving each and every day, and that's what I respected. And at the end of the day, I even told him, when I was leaving that, like, I appreciate him having me out. That it was just fun, being in that type of high-level chess match again, where I can't just, I'm not just using the same bag of tricks every day. I have to go home from the sparring and think about, okay, well, what am I going to do next time? You caught me with this. Those are signs of someone that is really thinking, still loves what they do. He has a passion for it.
Sharing a similar view, Tim Bradley believes the long layoff has actually benefited Spence. After watching him closely, Bradley says the determination and power in Spence's demeanor speak for themselves. He sees a fighter who looks refreshed, fully motivated, and eager to remind everyone why he still belongs among boxing's elite when he steps back into the ring.
He ain't the big fish no more. Nah, not the big fish no more, man. But the one thing that I'm looking at and I analyze him and I'm looking at his ass, I'm like, his eyes do look better. The motherfuckers ain't like cross, you know what I'm saying? The motherfuckers ain't low like that either, like, I'm like, man, this motherfucker high before he fight. What the hell going on with Errol Spence, right? So, his eyes look better. It looked like the rest was good for his body. When you training since you a little boy, man, early, and you train all them years, man, and having that time off, man, I'm pretty sure it done wonders for his damn body. Done wonders for his damn brain as well. you know.
While many in boxing still point to the car accident and long layoff as reasons to doubt Spence, Bradley sees them very differently. He believes surviving such a devastating crash and still having the courage to return to training for another fight shows the heart of a true warrior. In Bradley's view, Spence's journey alone is nothing short of a walking miracle.
But I'll tell you this, I ain't gonna never doubt a motherfucker that get thrown out of a car going 175 miles an hour, whatever how the speed was, man, and came out of that joint with a scratch, man. Yeah, I know he had some internal, but I'm just saying, the man's still living. There's a reason why. This dude is a miracle. Yeah, Errol Spence is a walking miracle, man. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna doubt nobody strong like that. On the other hand, you know, he's a little older, 30, I think 35, 36 years old. He got the perfect style. If everything is all right. Everybody asking me, oh, what do you think about Roy Jones? Roy Jones ain't gonna make no damn difference. I mean, it don't matter, man. Or Errol Spence, he's one of those fighters that know how to fight. He know how to fight.
As the boxing world watches what Tim can do with Crawford's guidance, Bradley sends a serious warning. He believes Tim's footwork and movement are not good enough to handle Spence's relentless pressure. Bradley even claims Tim's brother is the better fighter and suggests he may have dropped Tim during gym sessions. His prediction is clear. Spence stops Tim with a knockout.
You don't stand right in front of you. He ain't one of them guys that pick up his feet and move. Nah, Tim Tszyu little brother better than him. He better than him. Tim Tszyu brother probably be whooping his ass in sparring. Yeah, he be whooping his ass. I already know he do. Yeah, lefty, he be moving his head side. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know he be whooping his ass in the gym for real. But they don't be talking about it. But yeah, I think Errol Spence, I think he gonna beat Tim Tszyu. He gonna knock him out. Tim Tszyu is done. He 31 and he done. Too much wear and tear. He got his ass knocked out a couple of times. You know, mentally, he seems like he's strong mentally, right? And he wanted, but his body is not responding, you know, like it should be.
Adding another strong voice from Spence's camp, Brian Norman Jr. says everything he has witnessed points to a fighter who is mentally locked in and fully prepared. After training together and spending time with Spence outside the gym, Brian came away convinced his mindset has never been stronger. He believes Spence knows exactly what he wants, and whoever stands across from him is heading into serious trouble.
Mentally, he is definitely there and he's definitely ready. And whoever he fight next, they in trouble. Now the boy on point. The boy is sharp. Also, like, you know, he one of my favorite fighters. We had went on a run together, so I'm running 5 miles with him, and on the way halfway through, you know, we started talking, and no matter what, to me, boxing is 90% mental. So we was talking back and forth. He was telling me pretty much what his head at, and like mentally, he is definitely there and he's definitely ready, and whoever he fight next, they in trouble.
Brian also believes the work being done in camp will be too much for Tim to overcome. While many expected the long break to slow Spence down, Brian says the opposite has happened. He sees Spence pushing a relentless pace while looking sharper than ever. In his view, the time away helped him reset, and now he has an even greater purpose, driving every training session.
I feel like the program we got going on over here is going to be entirely too much for Tim. He took 3 years off. He's supposed to be, you know, the older guy, the old cat who can't, you know, the car wreck, everything happens on, so he's supposed to be off of his game. But no, he's still pushing the pace and not even just pushing it, but looking sharp while doing it. So no, that break that he took, and then like the conversation we was having, he needed that break to begin with. And now he got a bigger reason to do everything he's doing.
Adding another perspective, Grant Tassie Brown says, both Tim and Spence are entering a fight they simply cannot afford to lose. He believes a stoppage defeat could end either man's career, while a close decision loss might still leave some opportunities. Speaking from Tim's camp, Grant is confident Tim will rise to the occasion and get the job done, because this fight means everything to him.
A loss for either guy. We'll put it this way, a stoppage loss for either guy's career ending. I don't care how it is. So if one of the guys lose on points, you know, and it's close, then there's a chance they can fight on. But if Errol or Tim happens to one of them gets stopped, it's career over. There's no way, I don't think, to rebuild them, especially with all the superstars around at the moment, the Boots Ennises and the Virgil Ortizes and the Funduras. So I don't think it's going to go in his mind. I think he's just, you know, excited to have this opportunity, and you know, no limits put him there. And now it's up to him to close the deal, and I believe he will.
Grant is leaning toward a stoppage win for Tim, believing that is the perfect way to make a statement. Drawing from Tim's previous fights, he points to the approach that has worked before and says it should be repeated. In Grant's view, the key is to pressure Spence from the opening bell, avoid letting the fight settle, and force him into uncomfortable exchanges early.
I believe he'll be on song, and I believe he'll have too much for Errol Spence. But I like him to start early. Really, remind Spence that you've been off for 3 years. This is what it's like being hit hard, and jump on him early, but do it intelligently. Obviously, I don't mean just go out there blazing like Buckram. I mean, do it intelligently, like he did against Tony Harrison, like he did against Bam Mendoza. I believe that version of Tim Tszyu, feinting, using the lead hand and dropping that right hand down the pipe, I believe that's the Tszyu that we'll see, and that'll get him victorious.
Then comes the opinion of Jeff Horn, who knows Crawford's level better than most. Jeff believes Tim will beat Spence, and his reasons are straightforward. He feels the long layoff leaves major questions about whether Spence can still perform at his best. Meanwhile, Tim has stayed active, continued beating quality opponents, and built steady momentum, even though both fighters have faced difficult setbacks in their careers.
Look, it's an interesting one, that's for sure, but I feel like Tim surely has to be favourite for this one, even though both guys have had some pretty bad defeats of recent. Well, not really. With Spence, he's been out and for quite some time, so I think that inactivity's probably not too good for him. And Tim's at least been active. He has had some bad losses, but I would have to be leaning towards Tim for this one.
As Tim continues to intensify his training camp, more voices are acknowledging the threat he brings. Even Spence's former trainer, Derek James, has issued a warning ahead of the fight. He believes Tim is a dangerous and determined opponent who cannot be underestimated. Derek insists Spence must stick to the right game plan and make smart adjustments if he wants to come out with the victory.
What do you think about that fight? Who do you like in that fight?
Hey man, I have no thoughts about it. I don't know anything about it. I'm not even thinking about it. I mean, I really, it's just like another fight. I'm not keeping up with it. He's gonna do what he do. Hopefully he's successful at what he's doing. But other than that, man,
you think Tim Tszyu has a favor because of the 3-year layoff from the Errol Spence had? Maybe.
I don't really know. I don't really know. I think Errol's gonna do what he's gonna do, but I think that Tim Tszyu's a very tough fighter, and you got to be able to use your feet. And you got to be able to box him, because if not, he's gonna try to bang you out.
No matter the outcome, Spence's comeback has captured the attention of the boxing world. Jarrett Hurd shares his thoughts by acknowledging how surprising and impressive it is that Spence chose not to take a tune-up fight. In his view, that decision sends a message to all doubters. Hurd believes Spence must have seen something in himself and his preparation to believe he can overcome Tim.
Oh yeah,
to fight Tim Tszyu, man.
Now that's the one we want to see come back, because one thing I love about Errol, man, shout out to Errol, because no matter what, whenever he come back, he ain't taking nothing easy.
Right.
He said, I don't take no tune-ups, and which is actually smart, because no matter how this fight turned out, he's a headline pay-per-view main event name.
Yeah.
The same thing Kambosos was doing. Even though he came back after the loss with Devin Haney, he'd fight a name after name after name, because it never bring his value down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a good thing that Errol Spence doing, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hope he's gonna be not no too much ring rush, and he ain't got nothing to prove, man. Go in there and just win the fight. That's what you gotta do.
Another major development is Spence working under the guidance of Ronnie Shields, a move that has caught plenty of attention. Zab Judah believes this was the right decision, explaining that Spence has brought in a mastermind who can add new layers to his preparation. In Judah's view, Shields is building a game plan tailored to Spence's needs and designed to help him make a statement against Tim.
So the addition that he put onto himself is experience. He put on a mastermind.
My bad, the change. That wasn't an addition, a change.
Right. Okay, the change. So the
From
change.
Derek James too.
He brought on a mastermind. He brought a mastermind. The one thing I like about Ronnie Shields is a game plan guy. He comes up, Ronnie Shields watches the opposition of whoever you're gonna fight, and he comes up with game plans. And throughout the whole camp, we work on those game plans. That's what the whole camp is about. And one thing I can say is every time we went into battle with a different guy, he had a different kind of game plan. So I do know that Ronnie Shields is a great trainer. He's a one-man army as well. I see him coming there by himself, and get everything done.
Analyzing the styles of both fighters, Zab believes this matchup is especially favorable for Spence. He explains that Tim's approach gives Spence a clear target because of his tendency to stand directly in front of opponents. In Judah's view, that style allows Spence to apply his pressure, land his combinations, and capitalize on openings that could eventually lead to a stoppage victory.
That Errol Spence needs a guy like Tim Tszyu. While Tim Tszyu possesses a fight, he's gonna stand right in front of Errol Spence and he's gonna fight. That's the fight that we've known Errol Spence to dominate guys in. You know what I'm saying? We know that for anybody standing in front of Errol Spence toe-to-toe, he's gonna destroy them. So I mean, this might be the perfect opponent that Errol Spence needs to come back to show the world who Errol Spence really is. I believe he got the perfect opponent.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
This is the let's go. Let's minus the Crawford fight, guys. Let's go back before the Crawford fight. And we know the big fish. Anybody standing in front of him,
Furthermore, Zab highlights the weaknesses he sees in Tim's style, pointing toward his defensive gaps and limited foot movement as major concerns. He believes those flaws could become a serious problem against Spence, who brings fast-paced combinations, sharp movement, and intelligent footwork. In Judah's opinion, Spence's ability to create angles and control distance will give Tim constant trouble throughout the fight.
I think that Tim Tszyu possesses the perfect style. He's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, he lacks a lot of defense. You know what I'm saying, on maneuvers, and I think that's where the downfall is going to be at. Other than that, he's a very tough fighter. He comes forward. He has a lot of heart. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's great. But a style like a Errol Spence walk down, that's not going to be. That's ooh. That's ooh. That's watch what I say. No cap.
Yeah. No, I agree. His coming back. Now, he's come back and he brought Ronnie Shields in his camp, a former trainer of yours.
The countdown is on, and now the world waits to see if Tim can overcome Spence's experience, power, and pressure. Will this be the comeback moment Spence has been chasing, or will Tim shock everyone? Share your prediction below, hit like, and subscribe for more boxing stories, breakdowns, and fight updates.